Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Utawarerumono, Mask of Truth. That's probably not how you pronounce that. I imagine I said that last time I did a video on this series, but this is going to be a really hard one for me, mainly because of how difficult it is to talk about a sequel game, or rather even a threequel game, because this is the third in the series. So, going through this without spoilers is literally going to be impossible. Even if you have a clean eye, you haven't played the first game yet, or should I say Mask of Deception, if you haven't played that yet and you have a good eye, you'll probably be able to spot the big spoiler in this when I load up my save data and start going through stuff. So, there's your warning, by the way. If you're not planning on playing Mask of Deception, you probably want to clear out now, because I'm probably going to have to talk about what happened in Mask of Deception to make some context out of what's going on in Mask of Truth, while also trying to avoid talking about Mask of Truth's plot events as much as humanly. See how hard this is going to be? Alright, let's go have a look around before we do anything else. We've got the glossary, because of course we do. I'm not even going to bother going through that, because again, spoilers! Gallery, music player, and I'm not even entirely sure what that is, but it's all there. Here are your system settings. They are almost unchanged from Mask of Deception. There are a couple of new ones. Like, for example, the controls display. It can now be turned off for the visual novel parts, which is actually pretty nice. And you can change whether or not it will continue the voice or cut it off when it gets to a non-voice section, which is also pretty nice. I didn't even notice that was a problem in the original, but it's there. And you've got a few more, well, you've got mostly all the same battle settings as well. And you've got a few other things you can turn off. It's mainly just a few quality of life tweaks. It's nothing particularly amazing. It's nothing particularly massively different. And you can change your control type, but I've just been using the standard control type because it works fine for me. So, let's go and load my game. There's your last warning for your spoilers. So, I have 15 hours in this. This is nothing. The game is 80 hours long. I know that this is something that Atlas have said, and people are likely to lie about how long their games go for. But, and this is a gigantic, well-shaped but, it is pretty much true with this. Because when I played Mask of Deception, they said that game was 40 hours. And I got 37-ish, but I also spent a few hours skipping through shit really fast. So, I fully believe them when they say this game can go for 80 hours. Not to mention that there's post-game content afterwards. So, there you go. We're not going to load into my most recent save, though. We're going to come back and load into my 7-hour save here. Wow, I thought that was a 5-hour save. No, that's my 5-hour save. But I do have a segment that you can listen to with voice acting and shit that will give you an idea of the voices and all that without giving away anything major, just story-wise. Although I do warn you, if you do like seeing how these slice of life parts turn out in these games, then please, you know, stop watching the video. If you actually give a shit, you should be playing this, by the way. Just FYI. So, I'm gonna give it about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so before I start actually talking. We'll have a look around at this screen here when we load into my proper game. But for now, we're going to just let you listen, because as with Mask of Deception, this game is like 90% visual novel, 10% battles. So, if you don't have a good idea of what the visual novel stuff is going to be like, well, you're kind of screwed. So, I'm going to leave this until the clock on my recording software says it's been 10 minutes since I started the recording. So, yeah, enjoy the voice acting.
別に今のままで十分だと思うが。
そうではなくて、今後に備えて精がつくものが必要だろう。
何がどうしてそうなった。その発言はいくつか重要な部分が省かれてないか。
つまりですね。今の情勢を鑑みるに、今後もこのエンナカムイの軍拡は続いていくのではありませんか。
ああ、そうだ。すでにそのためにいろいろと動いている。
ですので、その先を見越して手を打っておくのも良いのでは。 と言いたいのですよ、姉上は。
その通りだ。それが言いたかったのだ。
ノスリはいいとして、つまり今後のことを考えて食事の改善も考慮すべきだと言いたいのか。
そうですね。あとは士気の向上でしょうか。
ああ、なるほどな。確かに食事の質が上がれば兵たちの士気も上がるというものか。
食卓に肉が並べば兵たちもやる気が出るだろう。
つまり肉を食いたいと。
何を言っているのだ。私は別にそんな。
語るに落ちるとはこのことなのです。残念ながらノスリさんの要望を叶えるのは難しいと思うのです。
そうなのか。
この国では普段はあまりお肉を食べないですよ。なのでお肉そのものの蓄えが少ないのです。
ああ、そういうことでしたか。道理で菜食を中心とした食事だと思っていました。
でも干し肉や加工したものならたまに出てるですよ。
いや、私はだな、もっとこう取れたてというか焼きたてというか。
お祭りの時に丸焼きとかするですが、まだ半年も先なのです。
よし、ならばいっそ私たちで狩りに行くぞ。
よろしいのでは。この近隣の山はそれなりに獲物がいるようですし。
まあそこまで食べたいのなら止めはしないが。
何を言っている。オシトルも行くのだぞ。
それが死も行くのか。
当然だ。民の生活の向上も上に立つ者の務め。それに狩りをするのであれば皆に振る舞わねばならんからな。思えばこの国に落ち延びてからというもの、民の世話になるばかり。ノスリ旅団が長であるこのノスリともあろう者が受けた恩を返さないわけにはいくまい。ここは一つ自慢の弓を取り、民の食卓に彩りを加える一助としよう。
そうか。ここだけ見ると立派に見えないこともないんだが、要は自分が肉を食いたいだけだからな。
自分のことをここまで大ごとにできるのはある意味才能なのです。
そうとなれば行くぞ、オシトル。
いや、待て待て。自分は狩りなんてしたことがないぞ。何か断るいい理由はないか。
主様。
いや、いい。お前たちはここで待っておれ。二人に頼むとなんだかろくでもないことを言い出しそうだしな。
でしたら他の方も誘いませんと。狩りは多い方が効率的ですからね。
これは久々に腕が鳴るな。
私は他にやることがあるです。
見捨てる気か。猫根が一緒ならいろいろとごまかしが効くと思ったのだが、仕方がない。これは想像以上に胃の痛い一日になりそうだ。
絶好の狩り日和だ。
そうですね、姉上。
すまないな、キュール。突然声をかけたりして。
ああ、いえ、誘っていただいて嬉しかったです。久しぶりなので少し心配ですけど。
まあ狩り初体験のこっちとしては緊張どころではないんだがな。本当にどうしたものか。
いやいや、キユやん緊張してる。なんならうちがほぐしてあげよっか。
いえ、結構です。なんだか怖いので。
そうけ？遠慮しなくてもええのに。
ルルティエにも息抜きをさせてやりたかったが、王女さんの身の回りのことがあるからな。まあ5人もいれば十分ではあるか。
Alright, 10 minutes. How high is my volume? I'm just going to turn that up a little just to make sure I don't have volume balancing problems later on. But anyway, I have to start talking about the plot, or the story, or just the general quality of the VN stuff, you know what I mean? Because if I don't start talking now, this video is going to be an hour and a half long, so I can't... I was about to say I can't hesitate, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So, this is a sequel to Mask of Deception, like through and through. This takes place like a few days after Mask of Deception, so you need to have played that game. I promise you, you need to have played Mask of Deception. And you also need to have seen the Utawarerumono, either the anime or the first game. The first anime or the first game, since they're both like the same thing. Because there are a lot of characters who pop up really quickly in Mask of Truth. And since they pop up that bloody quickly, you really do kind of need the introduction of all the characters who show up, otherwise stuff's not going to start making as much sense. However, I might actually recommend something different, and I wouldn't recommend watching the anime first, followed by Mask of Deception. I would recommend the way I did it, which is play Mask of Deception all the way through, play the original Utawarerumono game or watch the anime, and then play Mask of Truth. Because you get to see some of the characters that were introduced in the original Utawarerumono, but then you get that little mystery about them, then you get to learn their backstory, and then you get to see them continue on in Mask of Truth. It's the same thing, it's the same principle as the machete method, I think it was called, for the Star Wars sequels and prequels, where you watch the prequels after you watch The Empire Strikes Back. So it's that same sort of principle where you don't know who you're thinking about at first, then you learn about them, then you get to have all that fun in Mask of Truth. Because I don't think Mask of Deception really requires the background knowledge, but Mask of Truth definitely does. You'll need it to understand a few of the events that happen because, well, let me put it this way. There is one character and another character who do something in this game that you would never see coming if you hadn't seen the original anime or played the original game. However, you would if you've seen the original. So yeah, you do need to see Utawarerumono, the first one, for this to make any sense. I mean, like the original Japanese name for this game contains the name of the protagonist from the original game. I wonder who's going to show up at some point. But yeah, so let's talk about the actual quality of everything else. The artwork is still absolutely excellent. I absolutely love the designs of all the characters. I mean, just look at Atui. Look at the best girl on the right there. Her art is absolutely wonderful. I just love looking at it. Just darling, absolute darling. But everybody's character art is fantastic. The background CG is also really nice as well. It's really good to look at. It really builds the theme of the world. It builds character. It really just works. And of course, the voice acting. The voice acting is absolutely wonderful. Like, seriously, I don't know how Japan gets such good VAs, but the voice acting in everything from the slice of life segments like what you're watching here to the more wartime serious segments and, you know, just things that, like, you have people in pain and stuff like that, and it goes above and beyond what I've ever seen from any, like, American game. It's kind of amazing just how good the voice acting in this is. It's ridiculous. And there are just some parts which are just extremely emotional. It actually really works. Also, it's funny. Like, Mask of Deception had a fair few comedy moments, but it wasn't as good at delivering the jokes as Mask of Truth is in its first 15 hours alone. Seriously, the amount of effort that's gone into the comedic writing in Mask of Truth is ridiculous, and I have laughed out loud at it more than a few times. Just the writing as well, the localization. The actual quality of the writing itself and the localization quality is top notch. Like, I'm not going to claim to know if it's any any different to the original game, because obviously I can't speak Japanese or read it or anything like that. But I mean, the actual quality of the writing is really damn good. As I said before, it's emotional, it's funny, it works perfectly fine, and they do take the initiative to do a couple of things where they change some of the words around and they give it just like a slightly different meaning to convey a slightly different context, but at the same time that still works really well. It makes as much sense as you would hope for something like that to be. Also, fart jokes. I know it sounds weird that I'm bringing up fart jokes, but they've had 2 so far in this, and they have both hit like a goddamn cannon. It's wonderful. They just come out of nowhere, and they've also got like people reacting to them, and it's the reaction just makes it all the funnier. That's the best part. But again, I can't really afford to show you that because both those moments would actually be pretty big plot spoilers. So. Yeah, I can't really do that. But yeah, I mean, I find that there's almost nothing I can criticize about this. I might as well talk about the structure of the plot so far. Now, you might remember if you watched my video on Mask of Deception, that I complained about the game being particularly top-heavy with the slice of life stuff. You spend something like half the game until you get into the war proper. So if you're not a fan of slice of life for the first 20 hours of Mask of Deception, it's gonna be a little bit painful for you. But this game has definitely addressed the balance a bit. Since you start out like smack bang in the middle of the war, it means that the game can afford to bounce back and forth between the wartime and between the wartime and the slice of life, and it does it actually really well. It knows when to cut the crap and start being serious, and it knows when it can slow down and take a break for a bit. And everybody still gets character development in this one. Like, I complained for the Jack DeWalt, the swordsman that you meet towards like the second third of Mask of Deception, doesn't get that much character development time in that game because he kind of comes in near the end and they can't afford to give him any development time. They've given him a lot of development time in this one. They've given him a ton. So that's good. And everybody else also gets their own stuff as well, like the big twist at the end of Mask of Deception, which I'm not going to repeat here just in case you haven't heard it, has a lot of reactions from everyone in the cast. So it's good to see everyone dealing with the huge twist in the ways that they would deal with it. And it works. They put a lot of development time into the characters. No, Suri actually gets a fair bit of development time herself, and I have a horrible joke to tell about her, but I'm going to save that to the end of the video so that you don't cringe your spines out of your mouths. But what else is there? What else is there that I can talk about the story? Well, I mean, the actual settings and stuff works fine. You just need to go in and do a little bit tweaking of the auto text speed and the text speed itself and the volumes of the individual sounds a bit. I find you need to turn the background music down a little bit just to, just to make sure it works alright. But anyway, it really works. It's more Utawarerumono, but it's even more tightly polished than Mask of Truth was. And I didn't think that was possible, but everything just... I mean, I said this about Mask of Deception too, or at least something similar to it. Everything comes together to form something more than the sum of its parts, and the parts were all pretty damn good anyway, so it is really good. Like, I wouldn't have been able to put 15 hours into this if the actual visual novel segments weren't any good, but the quality of everything, just everything that just merges together into something that I could literally just sit there and watch and listen to for hours, just because the quality of the storytelling is really damn good. Also, I should point out Nakane during the character development, because she also has the biggest reaction, and she's probably got the best character development in this entire game out of the lot so far. But I mean, I really can't get too much more into it, without spoiling anything, but it really is, it is another amazing job from Atlas here. Like, seriously, the level of quality of Utawarerumono is just incredible. Like, I am honestly amazed that a game this well polished is actually able to exist. Or at least a visual novel like this is actually able to exist. It's just, it's kind of amazing. Also, one other thing that I need to talk about. Memes. Or rather, the complete lack of them. It's kind of neat to play a game like this with no references to the real world whatsoever. Like, even with the phrases that you would think would be slightly more, what? Even to the phrases that would, make sense to put in. Like, can't hit the broadside of a barn, for example, ends up turning into the broadside of a castle. You know, little things like that. And also including the background plot of this game, which again, not going to explain, spoilers, kind of makes sense for some of these phrases to turn up anyway. And there is one meme, I know I said there wasn't any memes, but there's one meme that I remember. And it doesn't really count as a meme because the only person who will know this sort of shit is people who browse on r/prequel memes. Seriously, it could fit perfectly right into... It does fit perfectly right into this game. If I wasn't paying really close attention at that point, I wouldn't have noticed. So, you know, it is really nice that you don't have to worry about being pulled out of the game by any sort of, like, real-world jammed in with a crowbar, or, just pushed in with something. You know, some kind of reference. It's just, I am honestly amazed that this game's writing, this game's presentation, this game's everything in the visual novel sections is top notch, 100%, just really damn good. It's, I can't denigrate it. It has improved on everything Mask of Deception did, and Mask of Deception only got it perfect pretty much right off the bat. It's kind of awesome, actually. So, there are also, like, 3D cutscenes and stuff like that you can watch, but again, spoilers, can't do that. If you want to see more of the Mask of Deception style visual novel stuff and some 3D cutscenes, go back and watch my Mask of Deception video, because I believe I did include a 3D cutscene in there, and the 3D cutscenes are also really well presented. They've got the CG, they're really well built, and it ties into the battle stuff, so you'll be able to see some of the 3D stuff anyway, just not the 3D cutscene in particular. And that event scene just ended right there, so I think that's a good sign to go and load my next game. Now, for those of you who have been playing Mask of Deception, you might want to look away now, because this next load, after I load this, there is going to be a massive spoiler for what's happened at this point in the game, so I would suggest being very, very cautious. Loading. That's a spoiler. So, let's go have a quick look around, shall we? We've got the system menu, like, this whole new menu system here, where, also, yeah, you can save and load at any time, which is perfectly nice. You've got, like, 100 save slots, but you really don't even need the 100 save slots. Like, 10 or 20, sure, but 100? It just seems unnecessary. But, because this game doesn't have any decisions in it, as far as I can tell. It'd be a bit weird if they added decisions here when they weren't in Mask of Deception. But anyway, this is a new menu right here. They don't have you go into, like, the system menu for everything, which is kind of nice. It does feel a slight bit more... Brain work with me here. Feels a slight bit more complete. The menus just weren't bolted on top, you know? You've got training, we'll come back to that. You've also got free battle, which is the same as it was in the previous game, where you can go back and play a battle that you've previously done. We're going to be doing that. I might as well talk about training now, since I probably won't have time for it. But, so yeah, in the training grounds, you can do a red versus white battle, which will split the allied units into 2 teams, and both sides will get experience. So it's good for some leveling up. I haven't needed to do that because I've got the game on normal, and you'll understand why shortly. And, of course, you've also got a bunch of things going on here. Like, you can come here and see all your units. And you do have Tamaki and Sasara, who were the bonus people in Utawarerumono Mask of Deception, if you bought that on week 1 or something like that. And it's... Alright, I might as well talk about the save bonus. So, if you were playing Utawarerumono Mask of Deception, and you bring your save forward into Mask of Truth, it doesn't give you all your guys' levels back. So, everybody goes back down to level 5, but you get to transfer a bunch of the equipment you earned in Mask of Deception to Mask of Truth to make things even easier. So, if you want to do that, you can do that. And if all of your units are level 50, you'll get bonuses, bonus XP and bonus BP gaining things, and we'll get into what XP and BP are shortly, obviously. You can also come in to change their equipment. Notably, they've actually split apart viewing units and changing their equipment, and it kind of caught me off guard a bit, but yeah, you can come here to give them all of their equipment and stuff like that. And BP is bonus points, and bonus points are basically, you get them at the end of a fight, and you can allocate them to any particular stat for whatever you want. So, let's actually go and do a free battle, shall we? The game isn't too great about having many battles. Like, seriously, there's been 7 proper battles and, like 1 extra battle on top of that. So, I'm not entirely sure what they were going on with that. But, anyway, you can come back here and play any stage you want, and we're going to be playing this one here. Unfortunately, I'm only going to be able to deploy 6 units, so I'm not going to be able to show you everything that everyone has, but I'll do my best anyway. And this is what the 3D in this game looks like. The 3D in this game is actually really well built. It's not completely amazing, like it's not the best I've ever seen on the Vita, but for what it's attempting to do, it is still really good. God knows I needed that water. So, here we are on the battle setup screen, and it basically looks the same as the just the regular menu screen back at Anakamui. So, we can change our difficulty, and we can change it to hard, but there's, well, there's no but. The thing about normal is that normal is meant to be easy enough so that you can just go through and play the game and just, like, you know, win pretty easily so you can play the story. And that's fine by me, that's what I've been doing. Hard is actually quite difficult. So that's pretty good. And we can also allocate our BP here. We're not going to bother to do that, though, because I beat the stage pretty handily with my the last time I came through here, and I've gotten a few levels since, so there's really no need for that. So once you go to battle preparation, you can't actually change what stuff your people have equipped here, which is kind of annoying. I'm not entirely sure what the deal with that is, but we're going to pick a few people here. Mage, ranged, and a Tui. Oh, I can't pick a Tui. Tank. We'll swap out Oogie for a Tui. No, would that be a smart idea? Nah, let's give it some more even elemental balancing. It's not like it matters in this fight, but nothing to really worry about anyway. So, let's go fight. The annoying thing about talking about fighting in this game is that it's the same as Mask of Deception. The only things that have really changed are... what's the word? The only things that have really changed are just like little slice of life tweaks. And there's only a couple of them to boot, but oh well, we'll get onto them. So let's talk about how this system works. It is a pretty basic turn-based system. Everybody has speed, and that determines where they are on the turn timer. You can see that these guys all have like 100 speed, so that's actually okay. We get the first move, but Oogie gets the first move. So this is how it works. Every turn you can move and you can attack. Unfortunately, I can't attack because I'm not in range of anybody. And heals also count as attacks. That is actually kind of notable. They have actually separated attack and heal. So anything that you can do that can heal is now in that menu. I can't actually use this because I've moved this turn, haven't I? Yep. And, yep. So now we can attack this guy, we can see how much attack he's got, and we can also forecast what it'll look like after the battle if everything hits normally, which is nice. But you do also have the ability to do criticals and stuff like that, which I can show you how to do now. So you saw there that I got 2 regular hits and a critical. So you can see those little circles that go in. Press X when they're all the way in, you get the crit. And on the circles, you hold the X button down, and once you let it go, that's also a crit. So you have a little bit of control over what hits crit and what don't, and you can choose to avoid using some hits. Not entirely sure why you would choose to do that, because it just seems kind of against the point. But, well, you can do that if you want. She summoned out a little thing. I'll just move that up because it's very good bait. Right, can't hit him from here. I don't want to move him too much closer. Relutier is my tank, so she's actually got a couple of items on her that make people more likely to attack her. So if I move her up front, she will be able to wipe the floor with these dudes. And I can also use a action chain here. Your action chains will level up as the game goes on. So they will eventually gain more moves, and then you'll eventually be able to do stuff like Final Strikes. And Final Strikes are exceedingly powerful moves that have fantastic animations for, you know, 3D of this caliber. And it is just, it's really just nice to watch. So we also do have the ability to use defensive abilities, but since I'm actually looking at this on my monitor and not on my Vita, there's a little bit of built-in input lag, which kind of sucks. I just need to look down at my Vita for a bit. Oh well. So this is what the battles look like. There are also events that happen, like for example, every time a round of turns goes by, that new thing moves in, and once they move in and once those guys move in and try to, once those guys move in, they will drop off a new set of enemies for us to use. See, literally everybody is attacking my tank right now, so that's kind of what I want them to do, just because that's her place in life, more or less. It's kind of funny, like the almost defenseless little girl on top of the giant bird is the one that has to deal with all this shit. But anyway. So the way this works is, well, there is also something called the Zone of Control. And the Zone of Control is an ability that basically forces these guys to stay in the same spot because of my Zone of Control level. And that's pretty much it. Everybody gains XP when they attack. Not when they kill someone, which is actually kind of neat. Like, so, for some reason, this flag here, you attack this, and it gives you like 60 XP. Like, watch this. $25. Gave me a lot more XP back at the beginning of the game, but seriously, that is a ridiculous amount of XP. I'm not entirely sure why that's a thing. I can take this guy out in one shot. I should probably take said shot. There we go. And now we're just going to let him wait there because he doesn't seem to be in too much trouble. I am going to... Oh, yeah, this is a defense up. There we go. So, works the same way for healing spells as well. If you hit them right, you just get more benefits out of it, which works for me. And I might as well move her up there. Move him around here. Attack this bastard. And this is basically just what it looks like. You can speed up the animations and stuff in the menu. There is one other little... They have made a couple of tweaks to like the way battles work in this game as well. Like, for example, if you can't do anything about an attack that's coming in, like, for example, if it's just like 2 attacks that are going to hit you no matter what, and the original Mask of Deception, if there were a bunch of attacks that couldn't hit you no matter what, you had to go in and actually press the X button anyway, despite the fact that nothing would change, even though you had to put in the input. But in this game, which is a nice little touch. If you can't do anything about it, you'll just wait. You'll get it immediately, and it'll work just fine, which is good, because it just means less time wasted, and it makes it just easier to play the game. Here's another little mechanic for you. This is Zeal. When your Zeal gets to 100, you go into Over Zeal, which gives you more attack, and lets you do a bunch of other things that I haven't actually unlocked yet, because this game is really slow on the uptake of new battle mechanics, which is kind of annoying. I was hoping they would do something different and, like, let me keep... Brain work with me here. I was hoping they'd do something different and, like, let me, you know, keep the higher quality attack chains and stuff. But no, everybody goes back to their default attack chains, which means they just kind of have to deal with it. Kind of sucks. Right, I have to get Zeal for that. Damn, I missed the last one. Oh well, still did a bit of damage. There are, of course, things like jumping over holes and just all sorts of other little things. Like, the page in there is a page in the glossary that lists all the tutorials for battle, which they don't actually make you sit through too many of them this time, thank God. But there's like a whole page worth of battle tutorials that I just haven't unlocked yet because they haven't given it to me in 15 hours and 7 battles. So, again, this game does kind of take a while to really get going with the battle stuff. But the actual battling, thanks to the fact that you can choose your... Thanks to the fact that you can choose your thing, you can choose what your difficulty will be, you can choose your entire party, you can go and grind as much as you want, you can even rewind time, which is one of the bigger things I do like about this engine. If you hit the circle button at pretty much any time, you can rewind 50 turns into the past, which is actually a really big number of turns. It's good just because you can fix mistakes. And you can still rewind even on the hard mode, so if you do badly on the hard mode, you can just continue about your business. That's cool. What works for me. JPEG. Might as well heal her up. This game doesn't have anything in the way of, like, consumable items or MP or anything like that. It's only Zeal. Only Zeal. But it works. It is a good battle system. It is a good, enjoyable battle system. All the different characters have their own different special abilities. They all do just... It's all good stuff. It all works for... Oh, fuck. That was a taunt. Right, that means that guy's gonna come for me now, and if that guy I just attacked with dies, that's bad news. Thankfully, I do kind of have the advantage that he'll come back if he dies with full health and all that, so that's pretty good news for me, but at the same time, you know, something you kind of want to avoid. There we go. That hurt him all pretty badly. Also got him a ton of XP because he's eating 3 enemies at once, so he gets all of them. Defended! Bastard. Even with all the speeds on normal, the game moves really fast. It's actually kind of nice that it moves as fast as it does. Oh Christ, I was wondering when these two would get to move again. Alright, move them up here. Attack. Yay, I get to do the little Muso attack thingy that hits 3 of them at once, and they get tons and tons of experience for it, and since the Zeal just hit 100, they get a bonus turn, and they get to hit everybody like a fucking truck, and that's wonderful, because that means I get to... Oh, I already took out 2 of them! Very good. Now I can go and get the, Now I can go and get the main samurai bastard. Or maybe I'll just get rid of his friends so that he's not tempted to call in anymore. Damn, if only I was, Well, this guy will die no matter what, so it'll be worth trying to take him out. Although if I can just crowd around that big enemy, that would actually be the best thing for me to do, because if I can crowd around him, it'll prevent him from summoning in his friends, and I do need to take out the 2 major dudes. Also, apparently I dropped an immobility sigil, which means whoever runs into that can't move. That's an interesting little... That's an interesting thing, but yeah. Alright, attack. That'll drop his speed. I want to try and drop his defense. Don't think it's going to matter either way. Down goes his defense. Oh, he's doing Art of Revenge, but I get to do that, so my health goes up. And that means when I can get Nekone to heal my tank, that will work out perfectly well for me. Oh great, I have to move him up. Actually no, what I want to do is I want to move him to about here, I think. You can actually see the... yeah. I can hit this... no, I can't hit that guy from there. No, I'm just going to have to wait. Actually, can I heal from... no, I cannot. I tried. Right, we got guys coming in from behind, but yeah. You can actually see, like, the details of the unit, so I can see their action chains, their skills, their abilities, their stats, and I can even see the range on all their attacks. Which is nice. It's just a fully realized battle system, right? Also, you do get these little neat animations you get to watch, and there's even like little speech bubbles that'll pop up as like little dialogue between the characters, taunting each other, hurting each other, and what have you. It's all quite good stuff. Right, so I gave him Taunt, so he's not going to go after my bloody tank anymore, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, his attack has gone down the drain, so this will make things hopefully a little bit easier for me. Actually, I probably don't want to attack with her. I want to take the opportunity to heal my tank, but I can't heal my tank unless I get a bit closer, so let's heal the tank. There we go. Full flippin' health. 450 health. Yeah, these guys don't stand a chance. Right, I probably want to attack this guy. Yeah, this is gonna sting no matter what, so I should probably do this. And there are, of course, like, Stupefy, apparently. I didn't even know that was a thing. I guess I just got that on this guy. Oh, he's gonna Art of Revenge, and I'm gonna block that shit. Fuck you. Oh, really? Oh, that's so cheap. God, the zone of control shit is out of control. Oh, great. Oh, great, he's at max Zeal, which means he gets another turn. Thankfully, I've got quick rebound on everybody, so this means they all get to go first. And, well, this is going to be fun because now I can use her hurt everyone around her attack. And that's pretty much it for her turn, unfortunately. For her, though, with her attack chain that can hit diagonally, I can do this. There we go. What is going on? Mate, you're losing. You are losing badly. Nekone just took a hit, but that's alright. She's more than capable of taking that hit. It looks like the archers don't want anything to do with me this time, which is absolutely fantastic for me. Let's see if I can take this guy out with a crit. Damn it. No. That wasn't gonna happen. I want to move this guy somewhere he's gonna be able to attack. Rip. Yeah, so their other elite was in there somewhere, so he's moved. The question is, which one of them is he, so we can focus on him and finish this battle as fast as possible. What has happened? You just got the floor wiped with you, buddy. I'm gonna have to wait here, but that means I get to attack again, which is good. And you're the one who gets to suffer. Yay for poison. And his turn. Can I actually hit? No, I can't hit anyone from here. Alright, but he can stay out. Nakane can move out away from the line of fire as well. Kokopo, yeah, might as well get her starting to tank hits. Unfortunately, she's at a disadvantage because elemental bullshit, but there you go. This will take down his defense. That's exactly what I want to do, so let's do that. Yeah, just the whole 3D thing we got going on. Did you see how quickly it went past that? Because I couldn't do anything about it, so there was no point trying to stop it. That's one of the little tweaks they made. That really is quite a wonderful thing indeed. Damn. Got the first one, missed the second one. What is this thing supposed to do again? Just 10 hits? Scare people? I guess. Like, I don't really know what that thing is supposed to... I'm guessing when it levels up, it gets... Oh, jeez. I'm guessing when it levels up, it gets more abilities. Poor Nekane. His defense is still down, so... And I can't move. That kind of sucks. So let's just take down his speed instead. And hopefully I should be able to land a long-range attack, or... Yep. Alright. We'll do that. But yeah, Mask of Truth is... Mask of Deception, really well polished. No, I probably don't want to move it there. I probably want to move it somewhere. Oh yeah, simulation function. That's actually kind of neat, but... Yeah, still. This is basically just a really well polished Mask of Deception, and Mask of Deception was polished to hell to begin with. It gets rid of a lot, well, not even so much a lot of my problems, just a little bit of my minor nitpicks with Mask of Deception. It just does everything right. And it just works. Like, it works just as well as the previous game did. Only, like, better because it's just been tweaked. Tweaked ever so slightly in the places that matter, and with a slightly higher quality story and writing and all of that. It works. I'd love to tell you if I think it's worth playing, and I'd love to get to the end of the story, but again, it's an 80-hour game, and I'd be amazed if any of the reviews that came out for this game around the embargo period actually put in the effort to finish the game, because the game's 80 hours long, and they gave it to us with less than 2 weeks to do it. So, if someone actually manages to get the game done in that amount of time, I wouldn't believe a word of it. I would be very careful listening to someone who says they have played through this entire game within the 2-week embargo period, because if they did, they either have absolutely no life, or they are lying to you, more or less, because the amount of time you would need to put in would be ridiculous. 70 damage, let's get rid of him. Oh, cool. I even drew in that guy on the side there. Awesome. Down you go. 28 experience. Yeah, I was about to say, when does he level up? Might as well move him somewhere. And yeah, he gets the skip zone of control because fuck you, he's a ninja. Oh, screw it, I'll move her up and might as well get an attack in on someone that I can do some damage to. But yeah, would I recommend playing this? After Mask of Deception and seeing at least the original anime, yes. There is one thing that the original anime won't tell you that the game does, though, which is kind of annoying. And I don't really want to say that because it's kind of a spoiler in and of itself, but... Yep, thanks for not doing the anime adaptation right, you bastards. You bastards, whoever did the Utawarerumono anime. You can wait, and... Am I even going to be able to hit... Oh, well, I can hit him, and it'll actually do almost all of his health bar, so let's do that. That works. Yep, there's the spearman elite that I was worried about. He is the commander of this whole operation, and I'm going to go and beat the ever-loving bejesus out of him if I can. So let's do that. Might as well heal himself up while he's got nothing else to do this turn. There we go. Something tells me I don't want to move into that. Yep, Flame Sigil. Right. Might as well move into a zone of control area. Attack everything around me. Well, he wasted some of his defense. I'll take that. Not to mention the guy on the side there died, so... That's got a sting. Also, that's a flame sigil underneath his feet now, so... He is screwed in so many ways. That's a good tank. Please tell me I can hit him from here. Yes! That's exactly what I want to see. He's dead. And we are done! That was a quick battle. Was that a quick battle? That was fairly quick, I guess. Everybody gets BP. Unfortunately, not as much that you would get normally from beating the game, but... from beating that point of the game, but there you go. Yeah, Mask of Truth is just as good as Mask of Deception, if not better, just because of all the little tweaks that they've done. So, I would fully recommend going through this entire series, because Utawarerumono, the anime, is still pretty good even on its own. And Mask of Deception and Mask of Truth are shaping up to be a hell of a thing. I'm really looking forward to getting around to playing the rest of this, which means I never will, because I've still got 60 hours of game to go through. So, there you go. I hope this has given you some idea of what the game's like. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time. Alright, you had your warning, and here's the joke. What do you call Nosuri when she's had a mastectomy? No boobie.